I'm Ellis Martin. Join me now for a conversation with Gerald Panneton, the executive chairman of TerraX Minerals, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol TXR and in the U.S. as TRXXF. TerraX owns a 100% interest in the Yellowknife City Gold Project, encompassing 783 square kilometers of contiguous land within 12 kilometers of the city of Yellowknife. The project is located in the prolific Yellowknife greenstone belt, covering 70 kilometers of strike length along the main mineralized break-in proximity to the former high-grade Con and Giant gold mines, which have produced over 14 million ounces of gold. The Yellowknife City Gold Project is close to vital infrastructure, including all-season roads, air transportation, service providers, hydroelectric power, and skilled tradespeople. Mr. Panneton was the founder of Detour Gold, which was recently acquired by Kirkland Lake for $4.9 billion Canadian. Gerald, welcome back to the program. Nice to see you here in Vancouver.
Nice to see you, Ellis.
Gerald, I've got a question for you. You appear to be a very wealthy man. I don't know what you're worth. It's none of my business. You've retired 2 or 3 times. Why are you still working?
Well, it's very simple. First of all, as a geologist, I was very fortunate to choose this profession. We have the opportunity to create value. I look at what I've done through my years of being a professional, and you retired, but you go back because you can work on a good project and you can create value. Whatever it's for the community you work in, whatever it's Yellowknife, Cochrane, Ontario, and also for the shareholder that invest and trust you. And this is exactly what happened at Detour, and this is exactly what we intend to do with TerraX Minerals.
So once you've had some great success, and if it's in your blood like geology is, like gold is, you just have to keep going because nothing else is quite as exciting in the world of creating wealth?
I think what we do as geologists is that we take an occurrence, we take an understanding. It's a complex problem. You need to resolve it. Where's the mine? How big can it be? I love the challenge. How many people have been on some project and you think the project is dead? And suddenly you come up with a different set of eyes. People have done some good work before. It's not that they've done something wrong, but you can take it to the next level. And after building 3 gold mines during my career, 2 with Barrick and Detour Gold, I got the knack for finding answers, taking a project that maybe has not been looked properly, or maybe it has been underlooked or overlooked, and basically create that value.
We have areas in Canada such as Ontario, Timmins, Kirkland Lake. Everybody's going crazy about the Golden Triangle with very good reason. And you've had stories like Great Bear, Detour Lake, Kirkland. All that has happened, and now with gold lighting up a little bit, we're all looking for that 10-banger, that 20-banger. And I mean, really, people that have had success in the sector, that's how they've done it. They've got in early. This is not a new company, but it's a great story. And I believe last time I looked, your stock was at about 26 cents Canadian. And I'm thinking, like many investors are, can we see a 5, 10, 20 banger? You don't have to really answer that question because it's a very speculative question for me to ask the chairman of a company. But as an investor, that's what I'm looking for. How do we get there? And let's talk about the Northwest Territories, which you don't hear much about.
Well, let's go back. How do you create value? How do you do a 3-baggers, a 5-baggers, or a 10-baggers? There's a parallel between TerraX and Detour Lake. When I purchased the Detour Lake story back in 2006 from a junior company called Palangio Mine, I wanted to have 100%. It took me 1 afternoon to look at all the section and make my case saying there could be 5 to 10 million ounces of gold there. I end up close to 20 million ounces in production and reserve. The mine just got sold for $4.9 billion. The closing is at the end of January. I bought the property for $75 million, and today it's going to be sold for $4.9 billion. That's how you create value. I know that most of the people, including myself, did a 10-bagger on Detour. Can I repeat this at TerraX? I don't know. And the reason is I don't know how much I'm going to find. But my goal and what I see in Yellowknife is a property that has suffered from its location, from its history. There's a couple of sad things that happened in Yellowknife back in the days when there was a blast in the mine that killed 9 miners. It's sad. However, this project, this is probably the best chance of a 5 million ounces deposit in all of Canada within city infrastructure. Everybody goes home at night. So compared to all the discovery that you can see in Canada, we're talking Northwest Territory. How can you make money in Northwest Territory? There's only one city, and it's Yellowknife. All the rest is rotation, fly in, fly out. Very expensive. So the difference here is that we have a mining camp that has produced 14 million ounces so far, up to about 2004, that has been, say, forgotten. to some extent. People have grabbed the lamb. The people, like I said, currently we're doing a reset. This is a reset of a company that worked for 6 years on a project without delivering a resource. We've delivered the first one, almost 750,000 ounces. Ain't going to stop there. We're just starting. We've got drill turning as we speak in Yellowknife that will bring that project to over 1 million ounces, maybe 1.5. And it's open. It's not closed. I mean, the ground that we have, 800 square kilometers almost, is underlying a lot of potential for gold mineralization that has not been fully explored. And that's why I firmly believe that we can definitely have a multiple fold of ounces. Is it going to be 5 or 10? I don't know. But we're working towards it, and we want it within the next couple of years.
What are you going to be doing this year to develop the resource?
Drilling. Very important. We just raised $5.5 million in December. I've raised $2.6 billion during my Detour days, but we're building a mine, of course. This time around, share structure is different, share price is different, but the asset is amazing. And that's what's important. Because the asset is amazing, I know that we can create value by the drill bit. So, for example, this year we're planning to do about 10 to 20,000 meters of drilling. In the winter, on one target, in the summer on 3 or 4 high-grade target. And we believe that with the next 20,000 meters, maybe we'll get to 2 million ounces by the end of the year. So if I double the resource in 2020, I'll be very happy. And if I do another double in 2021, the market will start following the story a lot more.
Do you believe it will take that long for the market to respond, Gerald?
Look, we're building a different company. Like I said, it's a reset. I brought directors from my Detour days. So we're rebuilding the Detour Gold team.
So you've moved the best assets of the team over to TerraX.
Slowly, yes. I got the investor relation person, Laurie Gabori. It's now a director, helping implementing the investor relation part of it. I brought Louis Dion, which I've been working for 27 years, through the Barrick days. He was my first director at Detour in 2006. He left in 2014. And Louis and I is the mining engineer geologist combination. We are a team together. We talk to each other, we listen to each other, and we make better decisions.
How long would you potentially wait? And this is me asking as a journalist. You can answer the question any way you want. At what point would you entertain some of the offers you may get in the future from the majors for an acquisition? When?
Look, it's always interesting. We're never for sale. We don't put ourselves with a sale sign. If you like us and we're good enough and sexy enough and we have enough ounces that attracts you, that's all we need. My goal is to create value, whatever. And the difference is that I can build a mine. I've done 3, so I can do it again.
Let's talk about the management structure of this company. Who's involved and why?
Well, it's very simple. David Sudar is our president and CEO. David knows the industry extremely well. He needed some support technically, and that's where I'm him for. I'm also here to be his mentor. Look, I don't want to be the CEO, but I've done it very well at Detour. And what I can say is that David was able to spot the right project in Canada. In my mind, we're the top 5 project in Canada. I mean, there are some great discovery, whatever you talk about, Great Bear, Windfall, and others, okay? But how often can you find 5 million ounces in town where people can go home and sleep at home every night? Very few. So when you talk about management, this is a good story that was picked up by David. And now we're resetting the company. We're rebuilding it. I myself own more than 4 million shares in the company. It's not much. It's a couple of percent. It's just a start. But I think when people start believing, and there's a lot of people believing in the story, but what happened with management, sometimes it gets tired. It doesn't get focused properly. And that's where we're here for. We're here to do the reset with a stronger management and a stronger board of directors.
Who are some of the other major shareholders in the company?
Major shareholders are mainly retail, but some large retail, like people that have 10 million shares, for example. We've met some of them last fall. I would say that our distribution of shareholders may be 20-25% in Europe, 10-15% in Asia. The push that we need to do is attract institutions. It's mainly retail. Institution is maybe sitting at 10-15%. That can increase to 30, 40, 50%. Retail is important. It's very important because retail realize before institution that this is a good story. A good story is about 3 things: a good project, a good vehicle, and proper management.
Gerald, it's great to see you here in Vancouver. Always a pleasure. I look forward to a trip up to Yellowknife where I know the infrastructure is great and I won't get lost in the bush.
Of course not.
Thanks so much for joining us today.
I look forward, Ellis, that we visit the project together in the near future.
I've been speaking with Gerald Panneton, the executive chairman of TerraX Minerals, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol TXR, and in the U.S. as TRXXF. For TerraX Minerals and the Ellis Martin Report, I'm Ellis Martin. TerraX is a paid sponsor of the Ellis Martin Report.